I feel like KBU have just been on a
Prepare for
roll.
battle.
So just from a team gameplay perspective, I slightly lean towards how KBU has been playing.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
Assalamualaikum
CDR has
Jikir.
been a beast
Yaşa,
on this Clinks.
yaşa.
You know, I'm just gonna say it. That was still saying the advantages of both sides there. So you're saying KBU. If
I'm
you're wrong
totally
at the
not.
end, I'm
I'm
gonna
totally
call you
not.
out on it
I'm
and I'm
not a
gonna
cop out.
laugh at
I
you.
swear I'm not a cop out. I swear.
So now, no level 1 shenanigans it looks like, although Moonlight behind enemy lines here sees the Warden. But the Warden very good at warding off any further
30
invasion.
seconds to battle.
He should be fine. He has boots. Should be just fine.
Just getting grabbed.
Although there are a lot of.
Now gets Scorched Earth here with the Spirit Siphon. He should be fine.
Nope, dead. And it goes to I Annihilate on the puck. The dream start for him.
Absolute dream start.
I'm surprised the Warden was actually able to catch him there. Windlace versus Boots in Scorched Earth there on the Doom. Just has just enough movement speed though.
Assalamualaikum Jikir. Какой же гений против меня на линии.
Yeah. So now First Blood going the way of the puck, which makes his laning stage a lot better. He's still gonna go against the Sand King. I mean, both of those heroes, they're just gonna be farming their lanes and then farming some small camps. But I would assume Sand King coming out slightly ahead. I feel like he has the better ways of dealing with like all the camps once he has a few points in Sandstorm.
This lane definitely screams like farm trade. As you can see, FXRS just goes Caustic level 1, pushes the lane into I Annihilate. But I Annihilate should just be just fine. He can always push the lane in with his nukes and farm the small camp. And the winning lane thing in the mid lane just doesn't really happen these days because of water runes.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is a bit of a snoozer at times.
Just a little bit, but in exchange we get the side lanes, which are very exciting here. We're gonna have this Clinks, Chikiro. I feel like those heroes, if you step too far forward as the Enigma or the Tiny, you can very easily just get bursted down.
Yeah, absolutely. Clinks, Jakiro, you get caught by their slows, you're probably just dead. What's really nice though is that, you know, for Enigma, you never really have to walk too close because the lane's always going to be pushed back with the Eidolon spam. So you should always be relatively okay.
Meanwhile, here in the bottom lane, you mentioned the Death Prophet, a fantastic position 5 here against the Timbersaw and the Doom. And looks like, yeah, the Timbersaw being a little bit on the struggle bus. Not really gotten to level 2 yet, which means no reactive armor.
Yeah, he had to go Timber Chain, level 1, and he's kind of just being zoned. Level 2 on this Death Prophet, yeah, you have to be very careful. Just so much pressure.
Oh, they're gonna get the little courier.
Moonlight will drag this wave over, so Revenant should get some more CS into his favor. He's just sitting at 3-1, not ideal.
And this Death Prophet really just making his life hell as even like coming with the pole, trying to harass this Timbersaw as much as she can.
Even just level 1 Spirit Siphon, you can already see the impact that it'll have versus these beefy strength heroes. Level 1 Spirit Siphon though is pretty bad.
Here, Ray with the toss, getting caught out there, gets the slow out, but his Malefice stun on him. He will fall. Another kill for the side of KBU there.
This is what's really nice about this Tiny 4 and the Enigma pickup is once you have the Eidolons up, any tossback into Malefice is going to be a lot of damage on whoever gets caught out there. So in some regards, the Jakiro and Clinks have to be careful.
And I'm a little bit surprised also about CDR. He has not skilled any points in Burning Barrage yet. He has a skill point, but is holding it just in case for that you just mentioned. Like, if he gets gone on, you need to have that out to survive.
Yeah, I was curious if he might skill Burning Barrage earlier, actually, to clear out the Eidolons, but I guess he feels like it's not enough damage. Although, hold up, they do get the toss back. No, oh, they do have a sentry.
Walk, but with the sentry, too late there. Now
Warden
the
might be
Warden-
in trouble.
Yeah, it's not quite going to be enough. He has also a salve, so... But that's a sentry ward used to no avail, and it's immediately gonna go down.
Yeah, it immediately gets dewarded, so that's very nice for Eternity. CDR surviving there. Really heads up from him, too, to hold that skill point like we had talked about.
And it really is like this laning stage so far. Revenant is not getting anything. 7 and 3 compared to everybody else. He is really struggling. And at the same time, the Clinks is not really doing much better as the Enigma has 13 denies on him.
Just Enigma things. I feel like this is just to be expected from this hero at this point. But yeah, you're absolutely right. These side lanes for KBU are doing amazing. And what's specifically scary about this Enigma lane doing so well is hold on, CDR is going to get tossed back here.
Another toss back, he gets in with the dust is there. Extra 25 damage there. That secures the kill.
Ray, going to get body blocked here. There's an urn.
With the body
Oh
blocks.
my gosh. Warden is just going to town. He's actually
The
going to
body
die.
blocks, man. The Warden.
Okay, all right, man. Okay.
This is looking really good for KBU. They're really showing why they're 3-0 currently in this Division 2.
I think he was just showing off there. He was like, everybody's watching. You got to show off.
You gotta show off your skills.
But no, you're absolutely right. And these side lanes, specifically the Enigma lane, are going to get really concerning soon. Because Enigma's going to hit 6 soon, and Clinks is not the best jungler right now. Level 4, they're going to go again. Oh! Just misses the toss back.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. But that threat will be there for as long as CDR is in this top lane. So, you know, you might miss one, but that's life sometimes. CDR is always has to be so scared of it.
Yeah. And now they're even getting a D ward here, so you
Nice
always gotta be
D-ward.
careful. Where is this Tiny now?
Yep, and he's approaching the permanent uptime on Eidolons as well. So the early level nerfs that happened in the last patch, 7.31D.
Oh, in the bottom
They
lane here, they're
don't-
going onto Realm, as Realm got war stomped, but Deathcraft is just too much of a deterrent to go for anything further. Moonlight actually has to back off as he nearly dies.
We'll
They tried
get
for an
Sal.
attempt on this Luna, but
I mean, Rome got salved by his teammate, and it healed him for 200. So he's still sitting at half HP down here. But Revenant, we talked about how he wasn't getting much early. Still only 15 CS, but he is level 5.
yeah.
So this is normally that tipping point for Timber Saws that they're allowed to sit in the lane and just like constantly be in their face.
We have here a little pause, and we are pretty much at the 7-minute mark, and it's already a 1,000 net worth lead here for KBU. If we switch here over to net worth really quick, which we see is like just on those side lanes going really well. At the same time though, this Sand King, #1 in net worth, he has maxed out Sandstorm and is going for the Blink Dagger first. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on him now to like kind of salvage these side lanes a little bit once he has that Blink.
Yeah, you're completely right, and I feel like in a lot of games you might want to be slightly greedier on that mid Sand King, but you're absolutely right. He's probably looking around and he's like, man, the side lanes did not go well, so he's gonna rush that Blink Dagger. What's tough though for the Sand King is you're playing against a mid in the puck who loves counter rotating. So these moves from FXRS are not going to be free, because Annihilate should be very open to counter ganking wherever the Sand King goes. So it's not like he's going to get this blink and the game's just magically going to solve itself.
For sure. And also, like, up top, you mentioned it earlier, the threat with the Tiny, now the threat also with this black hole being available for the Enigma. While Klinks, he's not even, like, he's approaching level 5. This lane was, I feel like, supposed to be better for this Klinks, but how this Tiny and Enigma play was just so tough for the Klinks and Shakira to deal with.
Yeah, this top lane did not go how they imagined. Or maybe, actually, I guess they didn't see the Enigma pick. So this was really just a really, really heads-up pickup here from MMR Tourist. He's showing us how he got his MMR, it would seem. And he's going to go for, what, Vessel? Yeah, Vessel. Pretty standard. Despite the Enigma nerfs. So it's very interesting when you think about the Enigma nerfs. His early levels got gutted, right?
Yeah.
So the cooldown on Demonic Conversion, 10 seconds level 1, is brutal. But once you get to this point, you kind of rode out the wave in the early levels, and now he's level 6. So the Eidolons are pretty much exactly as strong as they used to be. And he's going to go Vessel. And once again, we mentioned it, there's no BKB Black Hole cancel. So him having a good game is very, very scary for Eternity.
Sure. Maybe we see the Timbersaw going in Abyssal Blade?
Maybe, just some theory crafting. CDR could go for the Basher. So when you Burning Barrage, you proc the Basher.
Oh.
So
now,
that could,
do you get to Burning Barrage, or is Enigma just gonna black hole the Klinks
well,
every single
he
fight?
might get black holed every single fight, but if there was a fight he lives through.
Like, in the hypothetical scenario, the build would work out.
In this extremely hypothetical scenario here, that would be good. However, I don't know. If I'm Enigma, I'm kind of looking at this Klinks and I'm like, do I even need to black hole him right now? He's like, he's looking pretty pitiful right now. Level 4 at 7 minutes. Not had a great game. 19 CS.
Yeah.
These side lanes were just a complete disaster for Eternity.
All, I feel like, a lot on this Tiny, who is 2-0 and 2, and he has pretty much the same level as CDR, and even in terms of experience, like, just a little bit more on the Klinks. So, like, this Tiny is putting in work. We might even see some rotations towards the bottom lane or the mid lane with that. And if they get a kill on this Sand King early on before he got his Blink Dagger, I feel like that would be very, very big for KBU there. So still waiting for the game to continue. We
need that wild card voice line.
That's a 10 out of 10 voice line.
Nobody seems to have it in this one, so that's unfortunate. But
very, very.
Yeah, you talked about the Tiny pick, and we are starting to, not starting. We've really been seeing this. I don't want to say renaissance of these melee pos 4s, but Marcy and Tiny specifically just feel so good. And I think a lot of it's because of their reliability on repositioning heroes, right? So when you run Tiny 4 or Marcy 4, your options on what 3 to pick are so vast. And playing carry into these heroes is just so miserable right now. You're like, what do I pick into this Enigma Tiny lane? I don't know what you pick. It's a really tough situation to be in, and it was a really nice setup from KBU to kind of punish that. Doom, however, does not have repositioning, but he just acquires gold.
Yeah.
He's gonna press that Devour spell.
And good old Devour spell, good old free Midas, feels good. Feels good.
This year's, he did not go for, so this hero was all the rage when you could last patch because of the mana creep. You get the mana creep and the mana burn on top of it, and his laning was just super obnoxious, but he didn't get it this game. He pretty much got the War Stomp as early as you can, it feels like. It's a very interesting from Moonlight. I'm not I'm not too sure how much value Warstomp has without Blink, but he does have
Dire's
it.
middle tower is under attack.
I mean, to be fair, if the Sand King is not there, they don't really have any other stun. Like, Jakira's gonna have Ice Path at some point, but it's not like that's. I feel like the one thing that Timbersaw always kind of like you don't have your own lockdown, which I mean, the hero has a lot of other stuff, so it's good he doesn't have his own lockdown.
That's true enough. They find another toss back here onto Ray. And this is just starting to get unplayable in this top lane. Cedar is going to cower in the trees up here. But if you get found by a Dust Ava, you are probably just dead. Black Hole is online as well for this Enigma.
Yeah,
and
you might
CDR
just lose your
just
tower as well.
CDR is just out of here. And this is your carry, level 5. He does have he has 1 stack, or he has 2 stacks for him. So Klink's definitely a hero that can recover in the jungle if he's given time.
50 Invis rune, doing setup and kill there onto Annihilate.
Warstomp haters, I can't believe he doesn't have another. I can't believe he would have thought of getting another spell.
I know, yeah.
What kind of
crazy? Did anybody doubt him about it? I didn't.
Warden, he does try to get a cheeky deep ward up, but immediately dewarded there by Ray. And yeah, so exactly what we were talking about with Klinks. Despite his bad lane, if he gets some stacks, gets that Maelstrom online, this hero can definitely flash farm his way back into a game.
Sure.
You talk about how much raw damage Burning Barrage with Maelstrom does to creeps. It's a lot. That's a lot of damage.
It is, it for sure is. I remember when they first gave Klink's Burning Barrage, I was like, damn, that's good.
People thought that he was like the most busted hero in the game, and then they realized that he's just still okay.
That you can still just kill him. As now approaching the 10-minute mark. Side lanes, we mentioned it a few times now, certainly going well for KBU, but now with the top tower taken, they're gonna give this lane for a little bit to the Tiny, who can work on his Blink Dagger. And I'm wondering, are they gonna already make a move with the Enigma, with the catapult wave towards this mid tower, or not? At the same time, in the bottom lane, this Death Prophet is just a menace. They're forcing 3 heroes, but finally able to take her down.
I was actually just about to comment on how nice DP the pick was down here, because he's able to just sit in front of the Timber and farm this bottom wave and defend his tower. But the blink reveal used from Sand King, I feel like Death Prophet's pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I mean, he was probably expecting to die down here anyways. But you give away a very big item timing from the Sand King. Now KBU knows he has this Blink Dagger and can adjust accordingly. But we're definitely seeing a very passive approach from KBU. They won their lanes. It doesn't feel like they feel under too much pressure to make anything happen. Annihilate did just finish his Witchblade, so that's kind of the big item timing that Hawks wait for.
Oh, the Warden, he still got the toss with the Dream Coil.
There's a flank coming in though.
Flank coming in here with the Burrow Strike connecting onto the prop and the follow-up center stomp. They get that kill, and now the Warden also going to die.
Black Hole.
But the Black Hole immediately cancelled by Ray there, as now even Realm coming in, already got the Eclipse off, and is going to find the kill onto the Doom. And as it's all said and done, everybody rushes into the mid lane, and we see 4 heroes die.
Straight up 2 for 2, about as even as you could get too, right? They get the puck, the 2 and the 4 from both sides fall. But is that bad for KBU? I mean, they used Black Hole, but Eternity used Doom and Epicenter.
Yeah.
So both teams, they have pretty lengthy cooldowns on both sides, and both of them being used there Although the Doom did kind of wind up getting wasted, right? They used it on the Luna there, and Luna winds up surviving.
Yeah, she already had cast the Eclipse, so the Doom didn't even manage to stop that with it.
I feel like that slightly favors KBU, just because Enigma right now, so he's got this Spirit Vessel build. He's not reliant on Black Hole, as we actually see him smoke up. So he can definitely look to be active and join fights, even without the Black Hole. And CDR...
There's going to be the scan from Dire. CDR knows something is up. He's going to hide in the tree.
Who has their detection? It's just a sentry on the Death Prophet.
That was a nice scan there by Eternity scanning that smoke.
That was really heads up. But it's, part of that, it might have been kind of obvious, right? You look at what Moonlight was doing on the Doom. He was just shoving in this top lane, so great awareness, but also pretty nice team play for the Doom to be shoving in the other lane opposite of his Blinks.
Yes, now they're gonna go here onto Timber, so another toss.
Oh wait, he's just dead.
Counter initiation from FXRS is not going to be enough to bring anybody down.
And that was Blink Epi down from FXRS.
And
another toss back.
He has the poor man's Blink already.
He's got the ghetto Blink. He's got that the ghetto Blink in the Tumblr's toy. That's like the dream item for these melee pos 4s. And they're gonna pop the dust. The sentry goes down as well. They really do not want to let Sand King defend this tower.
Now Timbersaw is back up. It's going to TP in here, but it's going to be too late as the tower.
They're gonna get a coil in. I don't know.
There's going to be a silence immediately onto Sand King, and Sand King is going to fall first. As meanwhile on the other side, looking for the Enigma, but she's going to turn this around here. Moonlight's going to die, and Eternity crumbles here as KBU just surges on forward. They have no Dream Coil, but yeah, you're still just dead on this hero.
Eternity just. And a bit of an odd decision to try to defend that tower. It felt like they were very discoordinated on that movement to TP into that tower to defend. It just doesn't feel like their heroes are in a spot to defend right now. CDR, very much so still in recovery mode. You had no Blink Epi. You have to wonder if they really even had any business trying to defend that tower. They clearly didn't. They kind of just get rolled.
Warden tried for a little attempt there onto the Clinks, but Moonlight was in the area to see him first.
The real concern for this Eternity side is, where does your damage really start to come from once you start to fall behind? It really feels like this Timber is a lot of their damage. And then once Clinks has that, he's obviously their big damage dealer. But who's killing heroes right now in this downtime, right? Timber's pretty poor, has a bad game. So who's next up? Is it because Blink Epi is not enough at this point?
It also, we see like the level discrepancy. Oh, gonna go in the mid lane.
Hold on. Realm going for a solo kill up here in the top lane. He's got it.
Oh, FXRS.
Yeah, Epi's not enough. Epi's not enough to kill heroes.
Exactly. You exactly. You did the known casters, Chris. You knew that was.
I can't believe you said that, Apon. Why would you think that?
I know. I'm so sorry. It's now here. The Doom, however, Moonlight is going to fall.
A pretty huge kill there for the Sand King, by the way. He was starting to fall behind a little bit, but you get the solo kill onto the enemy carry. All of a sudden, he's top net worth. That's gonna really free up his game.
He's feeling good,
and a lot of this game is really gonna come down to what Sand King can find, right? He's really the only hero on his team that wants to be active right now. As you look at the net worth, that kind of just tells the tale, doesn't it? It's like a Sand King, 3 Radiant heroes, and then Clinks.
Yeah, and Timbers are really just being behind, like full stop. He's even going for a Yulsep, which I feel like just shows how squishy he feels. He just needs a way to deal with that Spirit Vessel.
Yeah, and I feel like Timbers right now, you don't love going Vessel. Or Vessel. You don't love going Yules. You normally want to try to get Lotus or Kaya Sanj or these other items. And going Yules just doesn't feel as good as it used to be.
Sure. It is still not really a big lead, mostly because Moonlight, of course, with that Devour spell, is keeping
Radiant's
up in
bottom
farm.
tower is under attack.
I mean, a lot of this gold lead it was a 3k gold lead, and then FXRS got the solo kill onto that Luna up there, and now it's just kind of been stabilized around 1k. So KBU are having a bit of trouble finding their next big move, it looks like. They are now going to take over this top side, and they can very easily pressure
Radiant's
the tier
bottom
2 top.
tower is under attack.
And that is one of the nice things about this KBU US lineup, is that their tower taking, objective taking, pretty good. They're actually just going to walk right into the Roshan with the Exorcism.
Yeah. If you can't force the enemy to fight you, there's an objective you can take, and that is the Rosh. And now, Dire, the way that they're moving right now, they most likely are aware that this is happening. But I don't really think they can do anything about this. There's
We're gonna see
smoke.
they're gonna ignore the Warden here, and they're gonna try and contest this Rosh. The
There's
macro.
gonna be the coming in time. BKB from Realm picks up the H. They're gonna lose the Death Prophet already though. And the Warden.
They gotta get out of here.
Yeah, they're gonna get out of here. There's gonna be the epicenter straight onto the Enigma. Enigma down, no black hole in this fight, as the Warden now is going to die as well. And they might not get the Aegis, but they get 3 big kills and the power off of that most likely.
Radiant structures
Just great team play coming out here from Eternity. Very heads up. They recognize the Roshan's happening. They smoke up. And Ray just kind of dumps all his spells into the Rosh pit on Jakiro. The dream situation for Ray. And maybe just a bit lazy or unaware there from KBU. They didn't think that Eternity was going to contest that Roshan, and they kind of get caught lacking outside of the pit.
I almost trust you.
But at the end of the day, they do get the Roshan into the hands of their Luna.
Yeah.
So they have Dragonlance BKB done on Realm. He's ready to get going on his game.
I annihilate. Oh yes, Yules.
That was Sand King's Yules.
Oh yeah.
Trying to keep him in the sandstorm. Top lane Revenant, the Spirit Vessel, he purges it, but there's the black hole.
There's a black hole, and they're gonna get him.
He's dead. Another Vessel. He's shit. So that's the black hole done, but you definitely feel okay about that because you're now gonna that guarantees you getting this top tier 2 most likely. It's a pretty fine trade across the board. But I'm not sure how much Eternity minds losing their top tier 2 at this point. It feels a lot later than it maybe had to be, and actually FXRS is going to come up here with the sandstorm.
Epicenter up
structures
again.
are fortified.
He's the only hero here at the moment. And he does know he's pretty hard to kill now with the Blink Dagger and Yule Scepter.
Radiant's
Gonna be a
bottom
tough
tower is under attack.
Kill to get, and yeah, Radiant are actually gonna back off. With this, like, being a little... Oh, they're gonna find here onto the
Radiant's bottom
But the nice
tower
ice
is
path
under
is going
attack.
to secure Moonlight's retreat. So, given that this is like evolving a little bit more into a farming game, and CDR is now number 2 in net worth, going for the BKB next. How do you feel about KBU taking it relatively passively here?
I feel like they wanted to be more aggressive, but they kind of missed their timings a little bit. But they're gonna get another toss back here, Ray. They are gonna keep the pressure up on this top wave with another exorcism. It definitely seemed like they could have been more aggressive, didn't it, Apon, with how their lanes went? But I guess they are really kind of lacking that true fight starter on the side of KBU. you know, when you look at who's really starting the fight, it's just this Tiny. He recently got the Blink Dagger, but before that, they didn't have a way
Radiant's
to catch
bottom
heroes.
tower is under
Eternity,
attack.
of course, has that first item blink on the Sand King. So they've always had ways to start fights.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So in a way, Eternity kind of just punishing KBU's greedier draft, right? They went for the Enigma instead of like they could have gone a more conventional carry or an offlaner. Sorry, they could have gone for a Mars or some sort of conventional fight starter. They go for the Enigma, and they've kind of been punished for it a little bit.
Yeah, now the Enigma is also, he is going to have his BKB finished now and is going for Linken's next, just so that BKB, Linken's, there's not even a Doom that will be able to disrupt.
And
that
he
black
went a
hole.
very interesting itemization. So he goes for the Aether Lens over the Blink Dagger, which is really interesting. But when you start to think about it, it's a really hard Blink Dagger game, right?
Yeah.
We talked about how weird it, or how hard of a Blink game it could be for the Tiny in the draft, right? The Jakiro,
Radiant
the Sand King
are
dots, the Doom dots. There's so much raw spells that are going to be thrown out in these fights that if they connect on the Enigma, he's kind of just screwed with getting his Blink off. And so the Aether Lens will allow him to play more at range and abuse the Malefice. He takes that 10 talent as well. So his Malefice is kind of like an actual stun.
Now, the Birth Smoke. Oh, they're gonna find the Sand King, but he gets away. Ooh. Just in time, the Warden now storming on forward. They have the ward, but maybe gonna be de-warded. And the smoke on smoke action is going to be dispelled from both sides and everybody getting away.
Some fast fingers there from FXRS to get the Blink out. And he's going to have a BKB soon. So he's going to be pretty much untouchable.
Aether Lens. In addition, there's also like the Keen Optic. Like, Black Hole now has actually like a pretty big radius of where you can cast it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I actually didn't even recognize he had the Keen Optic still, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just a very quality of life thing too, where, you know, playing Enigma, you get to backline, and you're obviously looking for the black holes, but you're very comfortable just throwing out your spells from the backline still.
Now up top here, I Annihilate. He has his own Lincoln Sphere finished. Ooh, it's already a first Lincoln Sphere for the Radiant side.
Yeah, you can definitely see where their heads are at, right? They do not want to get... It's not just the Doom this game. It's really awkward for the Sand King to start fights into Lincoln's as well. He has a Lincoln's break in the Yules, but it doesn't feel
Radiant's
super
bottom
great to be
tower is
using
under attack.
Yule Scepter on Sand King as your primary Lincoln's
That's
breaker.
gonna be the
But
top.
great
Annihilate
jump!
first gets the Dream Coil onto Streeter. BKB, nice jump in there from Moonlight. Gets the Doom off onto the Enigma. Enigma is going to be out of this fight, but at the same time, they're tearing through Eternity there. And this Death Prophet just standing in the midst of three heroes takes down the
CDR
Doom.
is killing everybody though.
Yeah, CDR is still pretty healthy as now I Annihilate coming in. Do they have anything more for this puck? That's going to be the Invis Dust going to be there from the Warden, but with the movement speed, CDR gets away.
They have to be careful chasing into this flanks. Alright, great fight there for KBU. All set up there by I Annihilate.
Yeah.
Did they have a ward there? Like, what prompted him to jump for that coil?
Radiant's
That
bottom
was
tower
pretty
is under attack.
insane there from him.
I know it was like the Sand King was prepping his epi and then the puck went in first.
He just suspected something was going on, but either way, huge team fight there for KBU. They kill everybody but CDR on the Clinks. They do lose their Enigma, but they still have Black Hole.
Yeah.
So I don't know how concerned they are. They won the fight without having used Black Hole. You have to be feeling really, really great for KBU under those
Dire are
circumstances.
scanning.
And also, like, this death prophet just doesn't feel like a position 5 in this game. Like, she's in the midst of 3 heroes, spirit siphoning, and does not really care for a long time.
And this is just how it feels to play 5 DP in good DP games right now, where you are playing against pretty much little to no burst for your hero. You just get to stand there and abuse your spirit siphons in these fights, specifically against, you know, Sand King, Timber, Doom, all of these high HP targets.
Also the high levels that this Death Prophet now have. Level 15 compared to the other supports in the dire side, 12 and 13. Like, the levels are such a favor of Radiant at the moment.
And both of their supports on KBU are pretty farmed as well. So they have double Force Staff, Glimmer on their support duo. It's very, very hard for Eternity to stick on targets because of this itemization from the KBU supports.
There's going to be a smoke from the Dire.
There, and
it looks like Radiant is suspecting something else.
Radiant are going to counter smoke. The DP's not in it.
Tower is under
He's
attack.
just in the Roche pit. He will get scouted by this ward, but
the warden jumps in here, finds the Sand King. Oh, the Claws couldn't get it right in range there. It's now there's going to be a jump in from MMR first. It's going to find the black hole, but only onto the second as CDR is still pumping out the damage, finds the kill onto this Enigma, but BKB's now down. And now the jump forward here by the warden, finds another toss.
Great
There's
coil.
But they
The
get the
Lincolns!
stomp onto the puck. The puck, he gets a phase shift up, he will survive. And Realm in the backlines just dishing out the damage there. Force that forward by the warden there, a little bit over aggressive.
CDR winds up getting the posthumous triple kill with his skeletons from his shard.
Yeah.
But really great patience there from KBU. The initial black hole felt a little awkward, where they kind of sent the black hole onto the solo Sand King, but nonetheless they wind up getting the 2 biggest kills on the map. The Clinks and the Sand King both go down, and your 2 big cores survive. And the Doom, you talked about this first item, Lincoln's. Well, it came into pretty heavy play right there. Doom's the Lincolns.
Yeah. Now, still a very, very even fight, and I feel like we saw there from both teams that if you don't find the Luna or the Clinks, they are dealing a shit ton of damage.
Yes, they're dealing a metric F ton from both sides, and it's specifically the Clinks, right? He's level 21, and I think the game might just turn on its head a little bit here with the Scotty pickup. Soon to come out here from STDR, but there might not be time for that.
Revenant is going to go down first if they try to prevent the D-ward. At the same time, though, the Sand King is going to get found as a BKB.
Gets the phase shift off, though.
Yeah, and now MMR first jumps in. That doesn't have black hole, though, and CDR simply BKBs and walks away. They're still going on forward. Ray in no man's land right there. With multiple enemy heroes on top of him is going to fall. Is that going to enable Roche here for the Radiant?
There's a ward right outside the pit, so they do have a gem on Annihilate, actually. I really love how KBU has itemized this game. The defensive itemization from their supports. The second item, Lincoln's on Annihilate, and then they just give him the gem immediely. Just to take away... First off, they have like triple invis on Eternity, but also just the D-ward game. And they just get the immediate Roshan. I thought this game might turn a little bit with the Scotty, but CDR, he hasn't been able to get there yet. He's still 400 gold off.
Yeah. And now the Death Prophet has her shard, which I feel like can be a pretty big difference. Like if this Clinks wants to just like right click and fight, and then suddenly he gets feared away.
Yeah, and I think what KBU's done specifically a really nice job of is kiting the BKB usage from Eternity. They seem very aware that when Eternity has these BKBs up, they're very strong. But the second their BKBs are down, the Tiny, the Puck, the Death Prophet, they really start to shine through.
Radiant are
Now
scanning.
the Skadi has been finished. Skadi timing for this Clinks. He is level 22, #1 in net worth. He does feel really strong here.
He 3,600 HP, by the way, on CDR. Talk about a beefy boy to bring down. So, and it really is just a question of, can they get to CDR? He has a lot of heroes that will naturally frontline for him. And the question's going to be, can those heroes survive long enough for CDR to do enough
Dire's
damage?
bottom tower is under attack.
Like, this entire game has been like, the 3,000 net lead was the most we had this entire game. A very, very close game #1. It still feels
Dire's
a
bottom
little
tower
bit
has fallen.
like I'm really, what I'm looking for right now, how is this Skadi gonna affect this next fight? Because I feel like that's going to be a
Dire's
very,
bottom
very
tower is under
big
attack.
decider here for this. That
Radiant's
could
top
swing
tower
one
is
way
under
or the
attack.
other.
I mean, in my opinion, it feels like
Radiant
just such a
structures are
great
fortified.
Scotty game
Dire's structures
for
are fortified.
Eternity. You're talking
Dire's
about
bottom
a
tower is
range
under attack.
position heavy hero in the
Radiant's top
Luna,
tower is under
so the
attack.
Scotty slow
Dire's
very
bottom
nice,
tower
and then
has
you have a very HP dependent, HP regeneration dependent
Radiant's
hero in
top
the Death
tower
Prophet,
is
who's
under
kind of
attack.
frontlining.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They're gonna threaten the high ground here.
Just working
Radiant's
everybody back
middle
on the
tower
dire
is
side,
under
making
attack.
sure that they're aware of, hey, we could just go high ground, FYI. The good old
But
check.
you do see the itemization though. So Realm is queuing up a Lincoln's as well. On the Luna and Enigma is also going Lincoln. So there will be 3 Lincolns soon to come out here from KBU. Fully recognizing Eternity's strength in the single target lockdown.
We do have the Shadow Blade here by the Doom, but he doesn't have a way of triggering the Lincolns himself at the moment.
Illusion!
Here too.
They don't have great ways in general, right? You look at how they would normally do it. They have 2 Yule Scepters. They have a Force Staff, I suppose, but they're going to find FXRS here. They just force them out here so they can take the tower.
Yeah, just brute forcing it. They still have the Aegis for a minute and a half, so this tier 2 looks just like it's forfeit. And
Dire's
now for
middle
Eternity,
tower
they have
has
no more
fallen.
outer towers, but still, like, once this Aegis is out, what fight are we going to see? What black hole are we going to see? So far, the black holes have not been the greatest here by MMR Tourist.
And Luna got the dream item, by the way, or the dream rune. It's an illusion rune, so now he's going to get both of these side lanes in.
Nice.
But we've definitely hit a bit of a snoozer for, you know, I guess it's just a lack of action. There's not a whole lot of fights.
Radiant
Both
are
teams,
scanning.
this is definitely one of those games where it's like, it's going to be one huge game-changing fight. And that
Yes,
could
we
come
have-
right now. The Aegis is going to be out in 20 seconds. This is,
Yeah,
they're
Ray
a bit
is
early
gonna be
on finding
spotted
him.
here. They're gonna find Luna a little bit early, gonna take out her first life. No, they're actually not gonna put the damage into there, but there's the black hole. Connects on
Great
the
black
Clinks. Where's
hole.
the damage incoming into it from Realm? And they get the kill onto the Clinks. Ray trying to get away with Death Prophet straight on
Dire's
top of
tower
him.
is under attack.
And yeah,
Just a bit. I feels like that move was just a bit early there from Eternity. They found Realm, but he still had like 15 seconds on Aegis. That's a really long time to wait to kill a hero. They tried to wait it out, but while they were waiting out that Aegis, they found the perfect jump from KBU with the black hole. And that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. They got the Blink BKB black hole onto the Clinks. And the second their Clinks gets caught like that, it feels like the fight is almost just over.
Yeah. And it's also like, it felt like the smoke, they didn't expect enemies to already be there. They expected to like walk like 5-10 more seconds and then find the fight, because then like that timing would kind of work out. But Realm, very wisely aware, like knows, like while he still has 20 seconds on Aegis, they don't want to kill him, and also he can stand there to break any potential smokes there. So looking really good now for KBU. There's no buyback on this Clinks. And the lanes are in pretty good position for the Radiant already. And you have a Luna, like buildings are gonna get shredded.
Yeah, and you've got a pretty big window here to do so. 80 seconds with the Clinks being on the sideline. That being said, your Luna is pretty low. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to commit super hard to going high ground.
Yeah, she also doesn't have any lifesteal yet.
Dire's top
No
tower.
lifesteal. I mean, just pretty much raw stat heavy. I think great recognition that all he has to really do in these fights on Realm is survive. If they will just push at this top wave, that'll at least be one Rax. There's no glyph on the Dire.
Dire's top tower.
And they're going to get a toss.
Here on the board.
Top tower.
Oh, the Yule Scepter.
But that will secure them the barracks. There's no buyback on this Clink, so this is a super dead Rax, Luna Gaming.
And there's still 30 seconds without the Clinks.
Yeah, and they
here.
might be able to get at least a second tier 3. Maybe they feel a bit hesitant. They still have Doom and Epicenter on Eternity.
And they don't know about the buyback status.
That is correct, yes. They might, you know, they might be aware that he had just bought out Crystallis. But either way, very, very nice for KBU. They got the fight they wanted. Great usage of their Aegis, and they get a full Rax out of it, so they are feeling really great now. An 8k gold lead for them. As you really have to start, you know, thinking on Eternity, like, how do we take these fights into the black hole? You got to start getting maybe a little creative on your angles, maybe some weird smoke arounds. You got to find a way to get onto this Enigma though to start the fights, because otherwise it feels like it's just the fight's over, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's also not only the Enigma, I feel like it's also this Tiny, because if you don't go on the Tiny, he's gonna counter initiate, he's gonna toss either the Enigma away from you or tosses you away from the Enigma. So it feels like there's like some multi-layered engagement needs to be happening there as
they do.
They're gonna find the Enigma, gets a BKB off, however, and the silence on the Clinks and the black backlines and
the Hex
just all alone. The Hex connects on the Clinks and the toss. Moonlight jumping in just a little too late, and Moonlight is going to die as well.
I was
They
gonna
found
point.
the Enigma.
I was gonna point out the Warden had a full sight device, but the fight breaks out. But he just has a full sight device on this boss war Tiny. And I don't think Clinks was aware of that at all. Just gets caught sleeping.
Dire's middle tower.
And you said it right, Apon. They found the Enigma, but they just didn't quite have enough damage before he gets the BKB off. And another sight, the toss back. The Warden has been on one.
Yeah, that's just gonna, that's gonna be the BKB, but level 25 hit by Annihilate, so Revenant is going to fall here as well. GG's are called, and very well played here by KBU. It was pretty close until those last two fights.
Yeah, Eternity, they did a really great job of bringing the game back from a